All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be looking at the NFL playoff picture currently, and we're going to run a simulation here to see how I think it's going to go in the next few weeks, 16, 17, and 18, and see what comes out. If you guys enjoy this video, please subscribe if you'd like to see more, and leave a thumbs up. It greatly helps out. Also, if you'd like to have early access to some of this information, definitely go down and join the channel memberships, where you can get access to everything early. But here we go. Let's get into the video. So the current playoff picture here, let's look AFC first. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at 13-1 in first seed, the number 2 seed, the Buffalo Bills 11-3, 3 seed, the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-4, and the 4th seed, the Houston Texans, sitting at 9-5. Those are your division winners there. Of course, Kansas City getting the bye. So Buffalo would take on the 7th seed, just barely squeaking in at 8-6, the Los Angeles Chargers. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be hosting the Denver Broncos, who are the Broncos being the 6th seed. By the way, big matchup Thursday night. And come hang out, watch the commentary. We're going to be watching this, react, and talk about it live. So that could have a huge impact here, as if they were to play each other, and if the Chargers were to win, if they had the same record, if they got the tiebreaker, then they would move on to take on the in fact, let's see here. I can actually just simulate that, because if we do this right here, look at that. It changes it. So that is currently the situation right there. But then we have the 5th seed Baltimore Ravens taking on the Houston Texans. That's kind of set there. So first round bye goes to the Lions in the NFC currently, and tied with them with the exact same record, but at 12-2 at the 2 seed, it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles, and they will be taking on their in-divisional rival, the Washington Commanders, which of course is also a game going on this week. So a lot of implications here, a lot of previews for the playoffs coming up here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the 3rd seed, will be hosting the 6th seed Green Bay Packers, and then the 4th seed Los Angeles Rams will be taking on the 5 seed Minnesota Vikings. That is how it currently stands. I'm going to run through these weeks here just real quick so that you guys don't have to see all the boring stuff, and then I'll show you how some key matchups could change how the playoffs work. So here we go. Okay, so I went ahead and simulated through week 16, 17, and 18. Here is currently what I have. I'll just go ahead and show all the ones that are kind of lit up more here. As you can see, those are the teams that I picked. Here's week 16. Here are my picks for week 17. I'm gonna go through these more in depth to kind of show this. And here's week 18. So we'll look at these more in a second. Just want to give y'all an overview. And so here's what my projections are. Here's what I'm thinking. We'll come back and look at this video once the playoffs start, and then I'll fill out my bracket for the playoffs. But in the AFC, I got the 1 seed as the Buffalo Bills. I got the 2 seed Kansas City Chiefs, 14-3, taking on the Denver Broncos, which is going to be an interesting matchup, especially if you see my week 18. It would be back-to-back weeks with the same matchup, and that would be interesting to see. Now, we got the 3 seed Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the 6 seed Los Angeles Chargers. Then I have the 4 seed Houston Texans and the 5th seed Baltimore Ravens. Looking at the NFC, I still have Detroit in the 1st seed, the 2 at 15-2, but also going 15-2, I have the Philadelphia Eagles, but they'll be taking on the 11-6 Washington Commanders, which absolutely, look at this is insane. I mean, there's definitely, even if they lose a couple there's going to be a lot of high winning teams in these. All these teams are in the double digits. That's not often that we see stuff like this. I think that we need to expand the playoffs to 8 teams per conference, 100%. We'll look at more of that down below. We'll see like which teams didn't get in, which would be like the first outs and stuff like that as well. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the 3 seed, hosting the 6 seed Green Bay Packers, who are 12-5. The 4th seed Los Angeles Rams taking on the 6th seed Minnesota Vikings. And just to let y'all know, anybody who's confused, yes, I understand. They do have a higher seed here that's 12-5, and they're on the road at the 11-16. If you are new to the NFL, just to let you know, the divisional winners, which would be NFC North, NFC East, NFC South, NFC West, they automatically, for winning their division, will get a home game no matter what. And then the top 3 seeds of the wild card will get to go face on the road to the other ones, and they're seeded accordingly to how well they did. See, even though they're 14-3 and definitely have better in this projection, and they have better than that, they're 1 game back on Detroit. So unfortunately, which you see this one here, This game right here, just a prime example. If Minnesota were to be able to win that, look at that. Minnesota could get the 1 seed, drop Detroit down there, but I'm going to keep my projections there, and let's just drop down here and look at these. So here's a prime example. All the teams that are in dark bold, those are the teams that make it. On the left side is what they're at currently going into Week 16. Of course, we have Week 16, 17, and 18 left, and this is my projection here. So like Buffalo, they're 11-3 currently. I have them going 14-3, winning their last 3. You can see the rest there. I've got Miami winning the rest of their three losses there, 3 losses there. That's kind of what I have overall. So you can kind of take that. Kansas City, they're 13-1 right now. I have them winning 1, losing 2. We'll look at their schedule and stuff like that. Los Angeles, the Chargers, they're 8-6. I have them going 11-6. And then I have Denver, who is 9-5, going 11-6. We'll look at those games as well. Then Las Vegas, you can see that there. Pittsburgh, 10-6, going to have them go 12-5. Baltimore going 12-5 there. 6-8. Cincinnati going to 7-10. You can see that. Houston 9-5 to going to 10-7. All these different projections there. There's a lot of teams that are just going to miss the playoffs, going 9-8 in my projection. So we'll see exactly how that goes and everything as well. Philadelphia 12-2, going 15-2. I have Washington 9-5, who are going to be 11-6. Los Angeles, this is the Rams, who are 8-6, going 11-5. Detroit Lions 12-2, going 15-2. Minnesota 12-2, going 14-3. Green Bay 10-4, going 12-5. And then Tampa Bay 8-6, currently going 11-6. I think they have a pretty easy, favorable schedule. So here's what we have here. We're going to go back and forth, look at some key matchups here. So coming into this week, we got Week 16. So Week 16, if every game goes the way that I have here, huge matchup. For instance, on the road here, if let's see, we'll look at each team individually. Let's look at Buffalo's path first. So Buffalo taking on the Patriots. I think that should be a win, even though it is going to be kind of tough. The next matchup, though, they have the Jets. I think they should win that in division, but they're at home. And the last one against the Patriots. Let's say they lose to the Patriots because the Patriots do what they do, and they end up getting some wild upset against them. So let's say the Patriots win that one. Great news for the Kansas City fans. They'll be 1 game up. If they have a tie record, of course, Buffalo having the tiebreaker based off of the head-to-head percentage, head-to-head record, that was what would happen there. Now, Kansas City, let's look at them since they're the new team on the block here. Kansas City, they have got some tough matchups coming up here as well. Kansas City versus Houston. I think that Kansas City can win this one because Houston's been kind of inconsistent, and we know consistency, particularly with the refs, has definitely favored them. But let's say Kansas City gets a huge upset there. That moves them down. We'll look at like worst case scenario here. Kansas City, I have them losing to the Steelers. And then let's say Kansas City, I'm going to have them losing here to the Broncos. So let's look at this. Worst case scenario here. Worst case scenario, and then they would need, let's see, is there a way that I can make it to where they win out? I think there's a way here where I can make Kansas City drop down to the 4th seed. Maybe. No, I can't. So worst case scenario here, even if Kansas City loses the remainder of their games and all the teams around them keep winning, they drop. They don't have a chance to go below the 3 seed. So absolute worst for Kansas City, they're the 3 seed. Unless, let me think of this, because if can the Chargers catch them? No, the Chargers can't catch them. So yeah, there's no chance there. They've won their division. And yeah, so the 3rd seed is the lowest that the Kansas City can go. But I did have Kansas City winning that one. I did have Baltimore winning on the road there. And you can see every click how much it really changes. Every single click can change so much here. I mean, Kansas City wins there. Denver's there. What is it? Miami's kind of on that doorstep, setting at 9-8. They would have to win another one. Let's say that Miami... Did I have them losing any? I don't think so. I don't think I had Miami losing. No, I have them winning out. So Miami's definitely going to need the Broncos to lose a game here. So if the Broncos were to lose one to the Bengals, that puts in the Colts. Okay, so that puts the Colts there. I don't know if, let's say the Colts lose there. So Miami. So if you are a Miami fan, you're going to need the Colts to lose, and you want the Broncos to lose a game. So it's going to come down to the wire. Um, but the Colts, I mean, they play the Jaguars, they play the Giants, and they play the Titans. They play nothing but bad teams here for the end. So like, if you're a Colts fan, you're right there. You're right there. There's a chance. It's going to be tough for y'all, but it could happen. But I don't think that the Broncos are going to lose as much. I don't know how this game's going to go. Let's say the Broncos win there, by the way. Huge matchup for them. And then let's say the Broncos get... let's check out here. Broncos win against the Chiefs. They move up. They're going to need Baltimore to kind of lose another game. If Baltimore loses that one, the Broncos, they can keep going up here. I mean, they can't win the division, of course, but they could get to the 5th seed, have a rematch there. That could be pretty huge for them. So that's kind of how it feels right now. That's kind of the AFC outlook there. That's kind of where we're feeling. But again, looking at this, AFC specifically, I think the Chargers win at home because they do look better. They looked good, but also there's a lot of injuries to the defense right now for the Broncos, so I don't have a lot of faith in that. This one's tough and interesting to me. I do think that Baltimore wins this one. I do think Baltimore wins that one at home. Tightly contested teams, both of these teams going away. I know that the Steelers have kind of owned the Ravens for a while, but I do feel like it goes that way. And in this week here in particular, I do think the Steelers do beat the Kansas City Chiefs on the road. I think that's very fair. By the way, I'll move that one back. And then, let's see here. This week here, Kansas City versus Denver. I think that happens. Where did I have the Bills lose? I need to fix that. Let's see. So if the Bills win there, this is what I'm thinking, y'all. This is how I feel this is going to go. This is my projection. This is like I said, we'll come back and look at this. And then over here, we got Detroit. Let's look at the NFC for a second here. Detroit, already mentioned this right here this week. If they come into this tied, because let's see. So Detroit plays the Bears. They should win that, but who knows? Maybe the Bears get an upset, But let's say they win that. Minnesota takes care of business in Seattle. And then Lions beat the 49ers. And then the Vikings end up getting that win against the Packers. We go into Week 18. This game is for the title. This game is 100% for the title. We'll look at these updated and stuff like that as well every single week. I'll get into these and we'll update it. We'll do another projection of what we're going to see with the playoff machine here. But this is like a good example of back and forth and how much that can change it. The Eagles look good as well. Can the Eagles get the number 1 seed? Let's say that happens there. Let's say that the Packers end up beating. Okay, so let's say the simple scenario here. Packers get an upset win against the Giants, which it could happen. It's a good team there. And then the Vikings are able to win here. And that actually impacts it to where they can't win the division. That's wild, actually. So let's say the Bears get the upset. There you go. Man, how the mighty have fallen. You can go 13-4 and be 5th seed. Let's just say that like the injuries are too much there. Injuries are too much for the Lions. They even have an upset win there. Let's just say that they can't win again. Like, look at that. Down to 12-5. Can I even put Washington in front of them? Can Washington go in front of them? Yes, they can. Look at that. Look, Detroit could be the last seed right there. That is a way to make it to where Detroit is the bottom seed in the NFC. The injuries are too much. Look, this is Philadelphia losing and still getting the 1 seed. Like, there's so many different scenarios just with 3 weeks left. I mean, the diversity and change and everything here is so just night and day. Because, I mean, don't forget here, I mean, like, Seattle, they're still trying to go for the playoffs as well. So, I mean, if Seattle were to, string a couple wins together, that could be huge for them. Let's see, Seattle. Because because they're going to need the Rams to lose out if they want. Say they get that one there. Look, that's pretty huge there because, like, if we're looking at this record, 8-6 and 8-6, 11-6, 10-6. So 2-1 here and then 3-0. So if Seattle wins the rest of theirs, if Los Angeles drops one, completely changes everything. So there's a lot left to play. There's a lot to see. It's gonna take time, and I'll just reset everything here so y'all can see it. This is the current outlook, but there's a lot that can change over time. So yeah, what do you guys think? How do you think that the playoffs are gonna go? I'll just go and show you, and I'll just make this my picks for this week. How I think it's gonna happen. I think that the Chargers are able to handle that situation there. Chargers handle the Broncos this week. Let's see, Houston taking on Kansas City. I think Kansas City will win that on just the inconsistency. I'm going to go Ravens because they're at home. Rams because the Jets are terrible. We'll go Eagles because I think that they're going to win this pretty solidly. Even though Washington could pull it off, of course. So, I mean, hey, that changes a little bit there. I mean, sort of. Not necessarily, but I'll explain in a second. Because, like, even if they win that one doesn't matter how it happens there. It just changed records. So, we'll go Falcons at home. Michael Penix getting the start there. Carolina and Arizona. We'll go Arizona, even though I'd like to see that happen. Anyway, Bengals and Browns. We'll go Bengals. Titans and Colts. Colts at home. Lions and Bears on my. We'll go with the we got them winning that there. The Lions. Vikings at Seahawks. I'm going to stick with the Vikings. I think the Vikings win that. Vikings have been pretty good. I don't know. Seattle had a tough loss the other day in Green Bay, and I think they can beat it. They've been better this year than Green Bay. Bills, I think they win that at home. Raiders versus the Jaguars. That's a tough game, both teams. I think I'm going to go with the Jaguars, actually. Jaguars win that. 49ers versus the Dolphins. Dolphins on a rampage trying to push. Sunday Night Football, I think the Buccaneers win that. And then Green Bay hosting the Saints. I think Green Bay wins that. So this is my projection for the games this week. And this is what it, in my opinion, will look like after this week's game. So we'll come back to it next week, take a look at this, and see how we did. So, all right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out and watching this long. Make sure you subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed. And think about joining the membership there if you'd like to see everything and more. Would appreciate y'all for checking out. I'll see you guys, though, in the next one. Y'all have a good rest of your day.